In addition to the extraction operator for cin object for reading data, IOStream library provides additional functions that can be used with cin object to improve the data input experience. When using cin object, keeping track of or checking the state of the cin object is really important. When reading of data fails, then cin may not be in a good state to read next data successfully. It should be in a good state to correctly read the next input data. Focus of this recording is cin object functions bad, fail, EOF end of file, clear, and good. Now let us learn these functions better. Bad, fail, and good. Suppose I want to read data. I have integer data, and I ask user to enter data, and I use cin object to read the data, and then after that I display that data. Your entry is, so this is the code I have, and after this, if I have, let's say, another variable data2, and I have similar statements to read in data2. Your data2 entry, data2. So if I have this thing, then the thing I'm trying to demonstrate here is that if there is a problem reading data here, then it will not, the program will not be able to read this second data properly. That is what I'm trying to demonstrate here. Let me switch to the terminal, compile the code, and execute. It is asking me to enter data. If I enter, let's say 20 for data 1, and it displayed a red displayed, cin was in a good condition. It is asking me to enter data 2, 30, and it red displayed. There is no problem. But if I enter, let's say, instead of 20 I enter A, in that case it will try to take A and try to convert into integer, which will not going to be successful. So now your entry is 0. So that means it didn't return, read the data. Then the cin went into a bad condition, not a good condition, and it just displayed something that it didn't even wait for me to enter the data to, and then it displays something that actually doesn't make sense in this case. So here if, let's say, if cin you can call this function to see whether it is in a good condition or not, or what I can do is I can actually put in the loop. I want to continue executing these lines until till the time when this cin is a good condition. So these are the statements, right? So now while C is in good condition, that means in each iteration, if integer data is entered and it is able to read data properly, then it will scene will remain in good condition. Now, once the data that is problematic, non-integer, is entered, then scene will get in a not good condition, and this function will return false, and it will exit the loop and go and ahead and start executing other statements here. So in this case, let me compile in C first, and then I will proceed with the further discussion there. So if I enter 20, that's fine, right? It is still in the while loop. So 30, 40, then if I enter, let's say, A, now it exited the loop and there is still a problem continued. So when there is a problem, or if scene goes into not a good condition, then it's really important that you actually uh, set it back to the good condition. And for that, the function that we use to set back to the good condition is clear, right? Now after that, there could be another problem. For example, it read the data. If I enter, for example, A, and then new line character is there, because I hit enter, then new line character is there, so it will have a problem. These things will be in the buffer, so you also need to clear the buffer, and the function to clear the buffer is ignore. This is the function I will discuss in more detail in the next recording, but just remember that this the purpose of this function is to clear the buffer. So let me switch to the terminal, try to see whether it works now or not. Now I enter 20, 30, 40, then A. Now it is working because it went out with C in bad, not good condition, and then that was cleared. The buffer was also clear, and then it is asking me to enter data to 60. Now it actually displayed the data. That means it's working. So now we talked clear function and good function. We also need to understand, practice a little bit about this other functions. So here Cin will have not good condition. What kind of not good condition is that? You can check that by calling these functions. For example, if I, let's say, if I want to see whether end of file is reached, then I would call this function. This will return true if end of the file is reached, otherwise false. So if it is true, then I would go ahead and maybe display some message. Right, so this is the message I actually would want to display. And by the way, you can force end of file by pressing Ctrl plus D button, so in the terminal or in the Linux kind of system. So let me go switch to the terminal and see whether it works, this particular end of file thing works or not. So now I enter 20, 30. Instead of entering ABC, I enter Control D. Now you can see this should be EOF. So EOF has reached, right? So it was in not good condition. The not good condition, what was that not good condition was end of file raised. That was the not good condition. So make correction here, EOF. The next thing is you also can check whether it failed. It is bad. Let me check. It is bad, right? So let us take let us experiment with this fail function. So this is a function which will return true when the problem happened that the scene is not able to read the data properly. That means if this is integer type, if you enter character or string, then this fail function will return true in that case. This is a failure of reading of the data. Else if this is true, then I would want to display some message that actually maybe data read error would be, let me call this error, input error, right? So let me check this as well. To the terminal, compile and link, and execute 20, 30 and A. Now you can see that was the function actually returned true, right? So this function that we just put it here, it did return true, and then this was actually displayed. So we did good, clear, end of file, and fail. Now bad. Let me also put the condition for bad. This bad function will return true when some really bad happens, some fatal kind of things happens. This situation comes very rarely in the while running the program, but it can happen for some reason. So it's something in this case. The message I would put out is bad. So we can programmatically create this situation here. What I'm going to do is maybe set that particular bit. For example, there's a bit with a scene called bad bit. If you set the state of scene to bad bit, this function actually sets the state of scene to the bad state. I talked about the state of the object. Scene is as an object, so it has a state, right? So the state will actually have this bad bit set. In this case, what will happen is it will not go. Obviously, this scene will not, once this function is invoked, scene will not be in a good state, so it will not enter this loop. It will go here. This is not EOF issue. It is not fail issue, and it will be the bad issue. So this function will return true, and this line will be executed directly. So let me check this change here. it entered input error, right? So but it didn't wait for me to enter data too, and the reason for that is that our clearing of buffer was not sufficient. So we did I mean this scene clear was okay, but this buffer was not sufficient. You need to clear more bits. There could be still some data in the input buffer that was not clear. So I want to use this function in a different way. I want to clear maximum 256 characters or up to new line character. So whichever comes first, if new line character comes before this 256 character, then it will ignore up to that new line character, and if new line comes after that, then it will go ahead and clear up to 256 characters, right? So this will actually clear up a little bit larger size data from the input buffer. So let me compile and link again and execute. Input error, then it actually asks me to enter 34 and it displayed 34. So let me go back to the core. So we did talk about good, bad, all the topics I intended have been discussed. So this is it on the this is all I wanted to talk in this topic. Thank you for watching.